Hey Mark, I'm going to make this little video to show you where I fished and had a lot of good luck. This might be a little clunky, but I feel like this is probably the best way. If I were you, I would start right here. So this first pin I'm going to send you is just on a bridge crossing. And I accessed this from the Willow side. You could come down Hatcher Pass. It's a lot more scenic, obviously, but this will be closer to you, I think. But where I would first start is right here. And this pin that I've dropped and I will send you is a place to park. There was not a lot of parking area around there, but this was a pretty obvious spot just on the side of the road. So park there and then walk about 20, call it 30 yards down here to the river. And I got in right here and immediately I stood on this gravel bar, and this hole right here is about 4 to 5 feet deep. And I saw several 20-inch grayling in there. So you could start there. And if you don't catch anything, just start working your way up this. I fished this area here and it just did not produce. It really didn't seem like it was all that fishy. This spot right here had a nice run to it. I pulled a couple little ones right out of this riffle right here. And then just keep walking through here. By the way, this is all pretty much wadeable. There are a couple spots where it was a little swift and a little deep, but honestly, I was okay in just waders, and I didn't even have wading boots. I had on Chacos. But once you get to this gravel bar, this is where the fun starts, okay? There's this run right here that you see. This right here has a bunch of fallen logs in it. And I came just right past here, and this is a little deep, but I stood right here and I pulled 6 or 7, 18 to 20 inch graylings out of this pool, all on dry flies. And it was like a 30-yard cast straight into this area or this area, and I was pulling out grayling left and right. If you can cross over to here and get onto this side of the gravel bar and fish this, it's nice. This run obviously here was really good. But this is about as far as I got on this stretch, okay? So this is the very first place I would start. I didn't even get on this side of the bridge, but it looks like there are some great spots right behind some of these cabins, okay? So this is place number 1 that I'm gonna send you this pin. And the place number 2 that I'm gonna send you was right down here, just down the road, going towards Hatcher Pass. And I just drove into this little neighborhood and parked my truck right there. Walked into here. This is actually the very first place I started that day. I came down here, walked 10 yards through here, and the first fish of the day I caught was one of those beautiful like Eskimo rainbow trout that you guys have that are super colorful. I caught them right in here. I caught another rainbow right here. I did fish up this way, and it was a little bit swift and just mainly riffles, no good pools. I did cross over to this little island, and this was an amazingly beautiful spot, but the only person I saw fishing that whole day was fishing right here, and it was a guide and a client, so I didn't even get close to him. But this would be a fantastic place to fish. I did try to make it up a little further, but again, the water was a little deep, a little swift. It wasn't really, I think you could even skip this whole area altogether if you want, but that's a great run, and that's a great run too. And it's really, really close to where you park. So that might be worth it just to check it out. And then the last place that I went is further up the road still, again, towards Hatcher Pass. And it's another bridge. And it's on Shirleytown Road. And I will send you a pin to each of these places. But I parked right down here. You can see a parking spot. There were people unloading rafts right here. Nobody really fishing again. But I walked this little path here to the river and fished this run. And there were, again, 18, 20-inch rainbows and grayling in there. I didn't catch any of them. I don't know if it was just too still and they just couldn't, they could see me really easy. I'm not sure. I didn't catch any, but there certainly are some in there. What I did though is I kind of walked through here, which is totally wadeable, and I fished from this area and then up this arm of the Willow Creek, and I got into 4 or 5 grayling. You can see that really, I don't think you can go wrong with any spot on this river, if I'm being really honest with you. This was about as straightforward as you can really ask for when it comes to fly fishing. Just fish the fishy spots. Don't waste your time on the riffles. Look for the pools and the deep runs. I fished a size 14 purple haze for most of the day. I switched that out with a size 14 parachute Adams, just the gray version of that fly. And then what I did is, after I kind of fished all the spots out on my way back to my truck, I actually threw on a little Duracell French nymph, a little jig. And I fished the runs just under an indicator, and I got a few fish that way as well. And so if you want to just switch it up and just go back, back and forth between nymphing and throwing dries, again, don't overthink it. I didn't see many bugs on the water. I saw like 2 size 12 mayflies. I don't even know what kind of mayflies they were. They were sort of a lighter green color. But again, I think these fish are not terribly selective. I did try to throw a couple caddis imitations, some stimulators. They didn't really look at those, but anything that looks like a mayfly did really well. Size 12 or 14 would probably be fine. Grayling obviously have smaller mouths, so size 14 fly is probably great. But at any rate, I think, like I said, there's anywhere on this river I think is probably good. As long as you can access it, I think you're gonna have great luck. So anyways, thanks buddy. Hope you have a good one.